Nobody ever wants to have our office respond out. It's not a good day. And although compassion is high on our list, at the top of our list, it's attention to detail.
A vote's not just a name we choose. It shapes the path we win or lose. And when it counts, when stakes are real, we need someone with strength and skill. For clearer answers, stronger ground. For trust that's built and truly sound. For work that's done the way it should be. For truth that serves our community.
I think I just want to describe a little bit on how I approach work and what my work ethic is. I've spent almost 40 years in public service, and I had an entire career in the public service where I have the benefit of having a pension. And that pension allows me to do things that I want to do and focus my attention on things that need to get done without the limitation of me worrying about, paying my mortgage and, eating and having fuel for my car. I work currently about 60 hours a week in the coroner's office. So I get up early in the morning, go to the gym, I work out, and then I go to the office and I work. And I work an average 40-hour a week in the office every single week, regardless of call volume. And then after hours, I will often be responding out either with my deputies or in any high-profile case. And what I consider a high-profile case is any suicide, homicide, infant or child death. And this office is no longer a part-time position. Although it was considered that when I came into office, the other elected officials in Bingham County identified the fact that it is full-time. It is now considered full-time, although I am entitled to the full income that other elected officials are entitled to and receive. I do not take a full salary. I only take half of my salary. I don't take any of the benefits for the position. And number one, the reason that I do that is I don't need it. Number two, the reason that I do that is I request that those resources go back into our office and back into our community so that we have what we need and we are able to function. And I would consider that good efficiency and being a good steward of the taxpayers' dollars. One of the things I was asked at the first forum was, what did I consider the most important part of my position as the county coroner? And there's a lot of parts that are incredibly important. I mean, they're tremendously important. Number one is having compassion for those who have just lost a loved one. Nobody ever wants to have our office respond out. It's not a good day. And although compassion is high on our list, at the top of our list, it's attention to detail. Because if I respond compassionately and yet I don't pay attention to detail and I don't follow a process and procedure, there's a high likelihood that I am ultimately going to let that individual down, and I'm going to let their family down by not having accurate and concise answers. And ultimately, I'm letting the public down in that if they can't trust that we are going to do what we are obligated to do and do it with professionalism, I don't know why anyone would want to support somebody who provides a less than adequate product, especially when that product is, writing the last chapter in someone's life. So when either myself or one of our deputies responds to a call, there's a myriad of emotions that are usually going on, right? There's anger, there's sadness, there's confusion, there's really shock. There are all these things that are taking place on that scene. And the responders, the first responders, be them law enforcement or EMS, or the coroner's office, which I consider us first responders, and you've got to be able to switch gears from each one of those interactions. So, for instance, when I respond to a scene, as soon as I get to the scene, I make sure that I document, well, what's the weather, what's the time of the day, what are the conditions of the scene? And I do that before I get out of my vehicle. Once I do get out of the vehicle, I look for an officer in charge so that I can get an understanding from that officer, what are the circumstances, what's happening here. I can either confirm or update information I received through dispatch. So that's a very professional interaction. Essentially, they're giving me a report on what's happening and what are some of the things I should be considering as I investigate. If there are family members present or bystanders, I will often go directly to them and express my condolences, give them a family resource book that describes why we're there. I don't expect them to read it at that point, but I explain why I do what I am doing, and then if they are going to leave the scene, I'll collect their demographic information, or I'll just ask if it's okay if I come back and speak with them. That's incredibly important. Time is incredibly important in investigating a scene. So although I want to make those contacts, there are things that need to happen. And that can change based on the situation. So coming back to each investigator is going to be responding professionally. They've got to be able to switch gears quickly from a professional interaction with law enforcement to an emotional interaction with a loved one, always providing professional support and resources to those in need on that scene, as well as keeping their focus of what their primary goal on that scene is. And that primary goal is for them to confirm the identity of the individual who's deceased, determine a time, cause, and manner of death. And although those are four very simple things, the complexity of circumstances that lead up to those answers, they can be pretty in depth. So our investigators, they show up on people's worst day of their life when someone dies, and they have a skill set that maybe isn't seen in the job description. So when we prepare for our investigations, we do it in a number of ways. First off, it starts with training. Each deputy that comes to our office, they're required to go through a medical legal death investigation training. Currently, we utilize the University of North Dakota's program, a very well-respected program put on by two forensic pathologists with many, many years of experience in the field. So they have to do that training, and then they'll do on-the-job training when early in their career, I will always respond with new deputies to make sure that they understand what my expectations are beyond our statutory obligations. And And then we do a lot of case reviews. So in our office, when we do a case, we do case reviews so that we can look at the strong points, the weak points, areas that could use improvement. And through that process, we continually see our investigators evolve into really well-seasoned investigators, even if they don't have the same experience that you might get in a metropolitan area. Because of all those pieces that we do on a regular basis, I would put them right at the top of any group of professionals in medical legal death investigations. And I'm proud to say that we make that happen here in Bingham County.
When the time comes, take your stand with future resting in your hand. Choose the course that lifts us higher. Choose the one who won't tire. Jimmy Roberts, steady, true, ready to do